Welcome to my channel, my friends. Let me ask you something. Can you speak English for 1 full minute without stopping? Many learners freeze after 2 or 3 sentences. Their mind goes blank, their tongue feels heavy, and fear takes over. But what if I told you that with just 100 simple sentences, you can start speaking English confidently every day? These sentences are the foundation, the bricks that will build your English house. If you've ever felt afraid to speak, this video will change that. Comment below. Do you also forget words when you try to speak English? Chapter 1. The 100-Sentence Secret. When I first started learning English, I thought I needed to study thousands of words and hundreds of grammar rules. I believed fluency was something only smart or lucky people could get. But I was wrong. The truth is, fluency begins with just a few sentences, sentences you can use every day without thinking. These sentences are like small keys. Each one opens a new door to your confidence. I still remember the first time I discovered this secret. I was sitting in my room, surrounded by books and notebooks, feeling tired and confused. I had been studying for months but still couldn't speak. I knew many words, but when it was time to talk, my mind went blank. I felt stupid. I felt like giving up. Then one day, I watched a short English video. The person spoke slowly, using only simple sentences. I wake up early. I go to school. I eat breakfast. They were small, almost too simple. But suddenly, I understood everything. For the first time, I could follow every word. Changed everything for me. I realized something powerful that day. You don't need big words to speak English. You just need the right sentences. Sentences that connect your daily life, your feelings, and your thoughts. When you learn these sentences, you start thinking in English. You stop translating in your head. You start living the language. At that moment, I decided to make my own list, a list of 100 sentences I could use every day. I wrote them on small pieces of paper and stuck them on my wall. Sentences like, I am learning English. I can do it. This is my notebook. I like this song. Simple, but powerful. Every morning, I read them out loud. Every night, I repeated them again. Slowly, those sentences became part of me. You see, your brain loves patterns. When you repeat something often, it becomes automatic. The same happens with English. When you say the same sentences again and again, they start living in your memory. Soon, they come out without effort, just like your native language. That's why these 100 sentences are magic. They train your tongue, your brain, and your confidence at the same time. I remember one day at school, my teacher asked me to introduce myself. Usually, I would freeze. But that day, something new happened. I smiled and said, "My name is Adam. I am a student. I love learning English." Everyone looked at me, surprised. I had spoken clearly, confidently, and without fear. It felt like flying for the first time. I didn't use big grammar, but I used real sentences, and that's what made it work. When you use sentences, you are not just learning English, you are practicing real life. Think about it. We don't speak in single words, we speak in sentences. You don't say coffee, you say, I want coffee. You don't say book, you say, this is my book. Every sentence is a small story, a small piece of communication. The more of these pieces you learn, the more complete your English becomes. Many learners make the mistake of collecting vocabulary like they are collecting coins. They know hundreds of words, but cannot make even one good sentence. Don't do that. Learn sentences. Practice them daily. Say them out loud, write them down, feel them, use them in real life. This is how you build fluency, one sentence at a time. When I first started, I didn't understand how strong this method was. But after just a few weeks, I noticed a big change. My mind became faster. When someone asked me a question, I could answer in English, not perfectly, but clearly. I could say, I don't know, or I think so, or let's go. These were small things, but they made me feel alive in English. I was no longer afraid, I was finally speaking. That's the secret I want to share with you today. These 100 sentences are not just practice, they are transformation. They will help you express your life, your emotions, and your thoughts in English. You will stop studying English and start using it. You will stop worrying about mistakes and start communicating like a real speaker. So, before we move to the next chapter, I want you to do something powerful. Take a notebook and write this sentence. I can speak English. Say it out loud, feel it, believe it, because from now on, you are going to learn English the smart way, not through grammar, but through life. Through sentences that you can use today, tomorrow, and forever. These 100 sentences will change the way you speak, the way you think, and the way you see yourself. Are you ready? Let's begin your journey, one sentence at a time. Chapter 2. Building the Foundation. The first 20 sentences. When I first decided to learn English, I felt lost. I didn't know where to begin. Grammar looked too big. Vocabulary felt endless. But then, I learned one simple truth. Fluency starts with small steps. You don't need to learn everything. You just need to begin with a few powerful sentences that you can actually use in real life. And that's how my foundation began, with just 20 sentences that changed everything for me. I remember sitting on my bed one quiet morning, my notebook open, pen in hand. I wrote my first sentence. My name is Adam. It looked so simple, but when I said it out loud, something inside me changed. It was like I had just spoken English for the first time, not to impress someone, but to express myself. That's when I understood that every sentence is more than grammar. It's a feeling, a voice, a piece of who you are. Let's start with these first 20 sentences, the ones that can open your English world. They are small, but they are full of power. They will become your foundation. Say them slowly with me, and as you say them, imagine the situations where you'll use them. 1. My name is your name. 2. I am learning English. 3. I like English. 4. I want to speak fluently. 5. I can do it. 6. I am happy today. 7. I am a student. 8. This is my book. 9. This is my pen. 10. I am at home. 11. I am ready to learn. 12. I feel good. 13. I am strong. 14. I am not afraid. 15. I am practicing every day. 16. I like learning new things. 17. I believe in myself. 18. I can speak English. 19. I am getting better every day. 20. I never give up. These may look simple to you right now, but believe me, they are not just sentences. They are your daily fuel. Each line has energy. Each word has power. When you speak them every day, you are not only learning English, you are programming your mind for success. Every time you say, I can speak English, your confidence grows a little more. Every time you say, I am learning English, your fear gets smaller. I remember when I used to feel shy saying these sentences out loud. I thought people might laugh, but I still said them in front of the mirror, in my room, even while walking alone. Slowly, my tongue started moving easily. The fear that once controlled me started to fade away. It felt like my mouth was learning to dance with the rhythm of English. When you say these sentences daily, something magical happens. You start thinking in English. You begin to respond naturally without translating. For example, when someone asks your name, you don't have to translate in your head, you just say, my name is natural. When you feel good, the sentence I am happy today comes naturally. It becomes part of you. That's fluency. It's not about being perfect, it's about being natural. I used to repeat these 20 sentences every morning like a small prayer. I didn't care about my accent. I didn't care if I made small mistakes. I only cared about one thing: progress. And I noticed something. The more I said them, the more English started living in my thoughts. Even when I was silent, my mind was speaking English quietly. I would look at a book, and my mind would whisper, "This is my book." I would sit in my room and think, "I am at home." That's when I realized English had become a part of my life. You don't need a big plan. You don't need hundreds of lessons. You just need to make these 20 sentences your friends. Speak them when you wake up. Speak them before you sleep. Speak them when you feel afraid. Let these sentences remind you that learning English is not impossible. It's a journey, one word, one sentence, one day at a time. Sometimes, you may feel bored. Sometimes, you may feel you are not improving. But remember, every time you repeat a sentence, your brain is building a new path. You may not see it right away, but it's happening. One day, you'll notice it. The words will come out smoothly, your sentences will connect, and you'll smile, realizing how far you've come. So, my friend, here's your first task. Choose 5 of these 20 sentences today. Write them in your notebook. Say them 5 times each morning, afternoon, and night. Feel the words, not just say them. Believe in their meaning. When you do this, English will start living inside you. This is how I started. This is how thousands of learners begin. And this is how you will start speaking English too. You don't need magic. You just need your voice, your heart, and your courage to speak. In the next chapter, we will move to the next level. You will learn how to talk about your day using simple, real-life sentences. But before we go there, say this one last line with me right now. Slowly, clearly, and with belief. I can speak English. Say it again, because now, you are not just learning sentences. You are building your foundation for life. Chapter 3. Speaking about your day. The next 20 sentences. When I began using English in my real life, I realized something important. It's not just about knowing the language, it's about using it in the little moments of your day. Your morning, your lunch, your night. If you can describe your day in English, even in simple words, you are already living in English. That's when English starts becoming natural, not something you study, but something you live. I still remember my first day of this practice. I stood near my bed and said softly, I wake up early. Then I said, I brush my teeth. At first, it felt strange talking to myself. But after a few days, those sentences became normal. They became mine. I was not just learning English, I was living it. Every morning, every action, every thought. So today, I'll share the next 20 sentences. the ones that help you talk about your daily routine. These are the sentences that turn English into your habit, into your lifestyle. 1. I wake up early. 2. I brush my teeth. 3. I wash my face. 4. I take a shower. 5. I get dressed. 6. I eat breakfast. 7. I go to work or school. 8. I talk to my friends. 9. I read a book. 10. I watch TV. 11. I eat lunch. 12. I come home. 13. I rest for a while. 14. I do my homework. 15. I cook dinner. 16. I clean my room. 17. I listen to music. 18. I talk with my family. 19. I write in my English journal. 20. I go to bed. Look at these sentences carefully. They are not complicated. They are your real life. Every word connects with something you already do. You don't need to invent anything new, just talk about what you already live. When I started doing this, I turned my normal days into English lessons. I remember waking up, looking at the clock, and whispering, "I wake up early." Then I'd walk to the sink, brushing my teeth and saying, "I brush my teeth." I was smiling, because I wasn't reading a textbook, I was practicing real life. This simple routine changed everything for me. Because when you speak English while doing your daily actions, your brain connects the words with reality. And that's how fluency grows, not by memorizing, but by connecting. English becomes something you feel, not just something you learn. I remember one funny morning, I was late for school, and while running, I said, "I am getting late, eh." Even though I was in a hurry, my mind was still thinking in English. That's when I realized something powerful. I was no longer translating. I was living my thoughts in English. You see, when you use English to describe your actions, it becomes natural. Every small sentence is like a seed. You plant it every morning, water it with repetition, and one day, it grows into confidence. At first, your sentences might sound broken or short. That's okay. Perfection is not your goal, progress is. When you repeat these sentences daily, they start flowing from your mouth without effort. You say them like you breathe. You don't even realize when you start thinking, "I need to cook dinner," instead of translating it from your own language. That's the moment when you stop learning English and start being English. I used to write these daily sentences on small notes and stick them around my room. One on the mirror said, "I am getting ready." Another near my bed said, "I go to bed." It was like my room was teaching me English, word by word. You can do that too. Turn your house into your English classroom. Label your world. Say what you do. Repeat it. Feel it. Sometimes I would record my voice saying these sentences, then listen at night. Hearing myself speak English gave me power. It reminded me that I was not a beginner anymore. I was growing. Every sentence I said made me stronger. And the more I used English, the more I started believing in myself. Remember this: fluency is not a moment, it's a daily action. Every sentence you speak is one small step toward your goal. And you are already walking that path right now. Even if you say just one line today, say it with confidence. Because one confident sentence is more powerful than 100 forgotten words. So here's your simple mission for today. Take these 20 sentences and use them in your real day. When you wake up, say, I wake up early. When you eat, say, I eat breakfast. When you go to bed, whisper, I go to bed. Let English walk beside you, morning to night. Make it your friend, your mirror, your music. By doing this, you're not just learning a language. You're changing your life. You're teaching your brain to think in a new way. And one day soon, you'll realize that English is no longer a subject, it's your second voice. Now that you can talk about your day, the next step is even more powerful. In the next chapter, we'll learn how to express your feelings and emotions in English, the sentences that show the real you. Because English isn't only about actions, it's about your heart. And that's what we'll speak next, from the heart, in English. Chapter 4. Expressing Feelings and Thoughts. 20 sentences that show emotion. There's one thing I realized after months of practicing English. Knowing how to describe your day is good, but knowing how to describe your feelings changes everything. Because language is not just about what you do, it's about who you are inside. When you can say how you feel, you stop being a student of English and start becoming a real speaker. You start using English not just to communicate, but to connect. I still remember the first time I said, I am happy. It was a small moment, but it felt special. Those 3 words gave me confidence. It wasn't a grammar exercise anymore. It was me speaking my truth in a new language. And that's when English became personal for me. It wasn't just in my notebook anymore, it was in my heart. In this chapter, we'll learn 20 sentences that help you express your feelings and thoughts. These are the sentences that make your English come alive, the ones that show the real you. 1. I am happy. 2. I am sad. 3. I am tired. 4. I am excited. 5. I am angry. 6. I am afraid. 7. I feel good. 8. I feel bad. 9. I am bored. 10. I am worried. 11. I am proud of myself. 12. I am thankful. 13. I am relaxed. 14. I am surprised. 15. I feel confident. 16. I am confused. 17. I am hopeful. 18. I am calm. 19. I feel strong. 20. I believe in myself. These sentences are simple, but they carry emotion, the kind that connects people. When you say them, don't just speak the words, feel them. Each line is like a small window into your heart. And when you open that window, your English starts breathing. I used to stand in front of the mirror every morning and talk to myself using these sentences. Some days, I said, I am happy, and smiled. Other days, I said, I am tired, and felt a little down. But no matter how I felt, I said it in English. Because every emotion, even sadness, became a chance to practice. This was something powerful. I was not only improving my English, I was learning about myself. Each sentence helped me understand what I felt. And the more I spoke, the stronger I became. When you express yourself honestly, Even with simple words, it builds trust inside you. You start feeling comfortable in your own skin and in your new language. Sometimes people ask me, Adam, how did you become confident in English? And I always say, because I started speaking my feelings. I stopped hiding behind silence. When I was nervous, I said, I am afraid. When I didn't understand, I said, I am confused. When I succeeded, I said, I am proud of myself. And the more I said it, the more those feelings became my strength instead of my weakness. I want you to try the same. Right now, close your eyes for a moment. Think about how you feel today. Don't overthink it. Just choose one of these sentences and say it out loud. Maybe it's, I feel good. Maybe it's, I am tired. Maybe it's, I am thankful. Whatever it is, say it honestly. Because when you speak with honesty, your English becomes real. These feeling sentences are also very useful when talking to others. Imagine your friend asks, how are you? You don't need to think too much. You can say, I am happy today, or I feel tired, or I am worried about something. Simple, but natural. That's how real conversations begin, with truth, not perfection. I remember when I was first learning, I often copied what others said. Someone asked, how are you? And I always replied, I am fine. Even when I wasn't fine. It was automatic, emotionless. But one day I decided to answer differently. When my friend asked, how are you? I said, I am tired, but I am okay. He smiled and said, me too. And for the first time, it felt like a real conversation. Simple English, real feeling, true connection. When you learn to express emotions in English, you become more human in your speech. You stop sounding like a textbook and start sounding like you. And that's what fluency really means, not perfect grammar, but perfect honesty. Every feeling you say in English gives you more freedom. Freedom to share, to connect, to be seen. So from now on, don't hide your feelings. Use them as your English practice. If you're happy, say it in English. If you're nervous, say it in English. If you're proud, shout it in English. Let English be your second voice, your emotional voice. Remember, you can't learn confidence from a book. You build it by speaking from your heart. And these 20 sentences are the first step to doing that. Now you know how to talk about what you do and how you feel. In the next chapter, we'll move to the next beautiful step, talking with people. You'll learn how to use your sentences in real conversations, simple, natural, and full of connection. Because English isn't meant to stay in your head, it's meant to be shared with the world. Chapter 5, Talking with People. 20 sentences for real conversations. There comes a time in every learner's journey when English moves from paper to people. Until now, you have been learning how to talk about yourself, your day, and your feelings. But the real magic begins when you start talking with others. That's when English comes alive. It's no longer something you practice alone, it becomes a bridge between you and another person. And that bridge starts with a few simple, powerful sentences. When I first tried to talk with someone in English, I was terrified. My heart was beating fast. My mind was full of fear. What if I say something wrong? What if they laugh? What if they don't understand me? But then, I remembered my small sentences. I didn't need to speak perfectly, I just needed to start. I smiled, took a deep breath, and said, "Hi, how are you?" That one sentence changed everything. The other person smiled back and replied. We started talking. I understood a little. I replied slowly. For the first time, I felt what it meant to truly communicate. Here are 20 sentences that help me speak with people in real life. They are simple, but they can open any conversation and keep it flowing naturally. Listen to them carefully and imagine using them in real situations. 1. Hello, how are you? 2. What is your name? 3. My name is your name. 4. Nice to meet you. 5. Where are you from? 6. I am from your country. 7. What do you do? 8. I am a student. I work in an office. 9. Do you speak English? 10. A little bit, I'm still learning. 11. Can you help me please? 12. Thank you very much. 13. You're welcome. 14. How was your day? 15. It was good. How about yours? 16. I don't understand. Can you repeat? 17. That's interesting. 18. I like your idea. 19. See you later. 20. Have a nice day. These sentences are not just for lessons. They are your daily tools. Each one is like a small spark that can light up a conversation. You don't need to know hundreds of words to talk to people. You just need the courage to say one of these lines and smile. People understand kindness more than grammar. When I started using these sentences, something beautiful happened. People began to respond to me with warmth. I noticed that when I said, "Nice to meet you," with a real smile, they smiled back. When I said, "Can you help me please," politely, they actually helped me. English became my key to connection, not just communication. I wasn't only learning a language, I was learning confidence, politeness, and friendship. I want you to practice these lines not only with people, but also with yourself. You can stand in front of the mirror and practice imaginary conversations. Say, "Hello, how are you?" Then answer yourself, "I'm fine, thank you. How about you?" It may feel funny at first, but it works. Every time you practice a dialogue, you're building real speaking muscles. Your brain starts learning how to respond quickly. Soon, you won't need to think. The sentences will come naturally. Many learners stay silent because they are afraid of making mistakes. But the truth is, mistakes make you real. When you talk to people, they don't expect perfection, they just want to understand you. And when you speak with confidence, even simple English sounds beautiful. I remember speaking to a tourist once. My English was not perfect, but my smile was. And that made the conversation easy and warm. That's what I want you to feel too. Think about it, you already have everything you need to start a conversation. You know how to greet, how to ask, how to answer, and how to end politely. That's all real communication is. Don't wait until your English is good enough. Speak now, because the more you speak, the faster you grow. Confidence doesn't come before speaking, it comes after speaking. These 20 sentences are your doorway to people. Use them at your school, at work, online, or even in your dreams. The next time you meet someone new, try saying, "Hi, where are you from?" Watch how the world opens up for you. You'll realize that people don't care about your accent or your grammar. They care about your willingness to connect. Every conversation you have in English is a small victory. Every time you say even one sentence, you are becoming stronger. So don't be silent. Say hello, ask questions, thank people, be kind. That's the real English, the English that makes people feel seen and understood. And here's something I learned that changed my life. Every person you meet is a chance to learn. When you talk, you learn. When you listen, you grow. English is not just a subject, it's a bridge to the world. Every time you use these small sentences, you're walking across that bridge, step by step. So from now on, promise yourself, no more fear, no more waiting for someday. Start today. Talk to one person, even for 10 seconds. Use any of these sentences. You'll be surprised how much confidence you gain from that single moment. Now you can talk about your day, your feelings, and even start conversations with others. In the next chapter, we'll go deeper. You'll learn how to describe your world, the objects, places, and people around you, using simple, clear sentences. Because when you can describe the world in English, you start to truly live in it. Chapter 6. Describe your world. 20 sentences about life around you. When I reached this stage in my English journey, something amazing happened. I started noticing English everywhere, not just in books or classrooms, but in the real world around me. Every object, every sound, every color became part of my learning. My room was not just a room anymore, it was a classroom full of English words waiting to be spoken. My desk, my chair, my bag, my phone, everything around me became my teacher. That's when I truly understood something powerful. You don't learn English by only reading it, you learn it by seeing it, feeling it, and speaking it in your everyday world. I remember one morning, I sat on my bed and looked around. I saw my lamp and said, "This is my lamp." I saw my window and said, "The window is open." I saw my book and said, "This is my favorite book." Those small sentences felt magical. They were simple, but they turned my surroundings into English practice. My home became my language lab. I was no longer waiting for a perfect moment to practice. I created one, right where I was. Let's start your journey of describing your world. Here are 20 simple sentences that you can use every single day. Each one helps you talk about the things around you, so you can make English a living part of your space. 1. This is my room. 2. The window is open. 3. The door is closed. 4. The light is on. 5. The fan is spinning. 6. This is my bed. 7. My phone is on the table. 8. My bag is under the chair. 9. I have a book. 10. The book is on the desk. 11. The sky is blue. 12. The weather is nice today. 13. The street is quiet. 14. My city is beautiful. 15. The trees are green. 16. The birds are singing. 17. My shoes are near the door. 18. The clock is on the wall. 19. The coffee smells good. 20. Everything looks clean and bright. These are not just sentences, they are small windows into your world, your English world. The more you describe what you see, the more natural English becomes. You stop memorizing and start experiencing. Every time you look at something and say what it is, your brain builds a strong memory between the object and the English words. That's how real learning happens. When I practiced this, I didn't just repeat sentences, I lived them. I would walk around my house and speak softly. This is my room. The light is on. The window is open. Sometimes my family looked at me and smiled. They thought I was talking to myself. But I wasn't talking to myself. I was talking to English. And English was talking back. Slowly, those sentences started to come out naturally when I needed them. I didn't have to think. I just spoke. You can do this anywhere. If you're walking outside, describe what you see. Say, the sky is blue, or the road is long. If you're in a restaurant, say, the food looks delicious. If you're in your room, say, my bag is under the table. This habit will train your brain to think in English all the time. You'll start seeing English words floating around you like invisible labels. Every object will have a name. Every moment will have a sentence. When I practiced this daily, something amazing happened. My vocabulary grew automatically. I didn't need to memorize long lists. I just talked about what I saw. I remember walking down the street one evening and saying, the lights are bright. The air feels cool. People are walking fast. I was speaking simple sentences, but I felt fluent because I was describing my world in real time. It felt alive. Sometimes I used my phone camera and recorded short videos while describing things around me. I'd walk in my garden and say, the flowers are red, or the grass is wet. When I watched the video later, I could hear how my sentences sounded. Each time, I noticed small improvements. My voice became more confident, my pronunciation clearer, my mind quicker. That's when I realized fluency isn't built in a classroom. It's built in your everyday life. You can also make this practice fun. Pick one room in your house each day and describe 5 things inside it in English. The next day, choose another room. Or if you go out, describe the street, the weather, or the people you see. You don't need anyone else. The world itself becomes your partner. When you do this daily, you will never run out of English to speak. I remember the day I finally understood how powerful this was. I was standing by my window on a rainy afternoon. I looked outside and said softly, it is raining. The road is wet. The trees are moving. Then I smiled and whispered, and I am happy. It was such a simple moment, but it felt like magic. I realized I was thinking and feeling in English. I wasn't studying anymore, I was living it. Your world is already full of English lessons, you just have to see them. The objects in your room, the people on the street, the sky above you, they're all inviting you to speak. And every time you do, you grow a little more fluent. Don't wait for a classroom. Don't wait for a perfect sentence. Just describe what you see. Because every description you make adds another brick to your English foundation. Now you've learned to talk about yourself, your day, your feelings, and your world. In the next chapter, we'll take it one step further. We'll talk about how mistakes helped me become fluent. Because the truth is, every error you make in English is not a failure. It's proof that you are speaking. And that's where your next big growth begins. Chapter 7. From 100 Sentences to English Fluency. When I look back now, it still feels amazing how something so small, just 100 simple sentences, changed everything. I used to believe that fluency was a mountain I could never climb. I thought I needed perfect grammar, big words, and long years of study. But I was wrong. All I really needed was courage. The courage to start speaking, even with small sentences. The courage to make mistakes and keep going. These 100 sentences became my ladder, and step by step, they took me higher until one day, I realized I was speaking English fluently. At first, I didn't even notice my progress. I was just practicing every day, saying small sentences while walking, thinking in English before sleeping, describing things I saw, expressing my feelings. But slowly, something changed inside me. The fear that once stopped me from speaking began to fade. I started feeling more comfortable with English, like it was part of me. I didn't have to force the words anymore. They came naturally, softly, like music in my head. I remember one evening when I met a tourist in my city. He asked, "Do you speak English?" For a second, I froze. Then I smiled and said, "A little bit. I'm still learning." He laughed and said, "That's great. Keep going." We talked for a few minutes about food, about travel, about life. The conversation was simple, but it was real. I wasn't translating in my mind. I wasn't afraid. I was just speaking, freely. When he said goodbye, I realized something powerful. I was doing it. I was truly speaking English. That's the beauty of these 100 sentences. They don't just teach you language, they teach you rhythm, courage, and confidence. They train your mind to think in English without effort. You start noticing patterns. How I am becomes I'm hairs. How I do not becomes I don't. You start understanding how words dance together. The more you repeat, the more fluent you feel. It's not magic. It's practice, consistency, and heart. There's a secret every fluent speaker knows. Fluency is not about knowing more, it's about using what you already know more often. I had friends who knew hundreds of grammar rules but couldn't speak even 2 minutes without stopping. And I had others who only knew a few sentences, but spoke with confidence, joy, and flow. Why? Because they used their English every day. They didn't wait to feel ready. They created readiness through repetition. Every sentence they spoke made the next one easier. Every mistake they made built their next success. I want you to understand something very clearly. You already have everything you need. You have words. You have thoughts. You have a voice. All that's missing is practice. Speak those 100 sentences daily. Say them when you wake up. Say them before bed. Say them when you walk, eat, or wait for a bus. Whisper them when no one is listening. You don't need a classroom. The world is your classroom. Your mouth is your teacher. Your voice is your practice. When I practiced this way, English stopped feeling like a subject. It became a habit, a rhythm in my daily life. I didn't study English, I lived it. When I looked at my phone, I said, "My phone is on the table." When I cooked, I said, "I am making dinner." When I was happy, I said, "I feel good." And when I was tired, I said, "I need to rest." These small moments added up. They built fluency not just in my words, but in my mind. I know you might still worry about mistakes. Maybe you think, what if I say something wrong? Let me tell you this truth. Mistakes are not your enemy. They are your teachers. Every mistake you make is a sign that you are learning, that you are alive in the language. Every time you say something wrong, you are one step closer to saying it right. So never be ashamed. Speak proudly. Speak bravely. Because silence never taught anyone anything. Fluency doesn't come in one day. It grows like a plant. You water it with practice, sunlight it with patience, and protect it with belief. You might not see results tomorrow, but one day, you'll wake up, speak a sentence, and realize, it feels easy now. That's the moment you'll smile and whisper, I made it. That's when you'll know all your small efforts were never wasted. These 100 sentences are your start, but they are not your end. They are the foundation of a lifelong skill that will open doors, connect hearts, and change how you see the world. When you can speak English, the world becomes smaller. You can talk to people from other countries, understand movies, read books, and share your ideas. English gives you wings, but you must take the first flight. So here's what I want you to do from today. Make a promise to yourself: no matter how busy or tired you are, you will speak at least 10 of these sentences every day. Say them out loud, feel them, believe them, make them part of your daily life. If you do this for 1 month, I promise you, your English will change, your confidence will grow. You will not just learn English, you will live it. And when that happens, I want you to come back to this video and tell me your story. Tell me how you started with 100 sentences and built your own English world. Because you can. You are already doing it, and I believe in you. Now, take a deep breath, smile, and say this with me, slowly and proudly. I can speak English. Say it again, louder this time. I can speak English. Because you can. You always could. You just needed to start speaking, one small sentence at a time. If you felt inspired today, don't stop here. Practice these 100 sentences daily, and make English a part of your life. Comment below which sentence made you feel confident today. I'd love to hear your story. And if you're serious about improving your English step by step, make sure to subscribe to this channel, my hedge, like this video, and share it with a friend who needs motivation. Remember, every big change starts with one small sentence, and your sentence starts now.